Hi guys, it's me Karen from Karen's Intuitive Jewelry. I'm going to make some beginners and intermediate, I would guess, wire wrap bracelets. It's been on my list of things to do for several months now, and I haven't gotten around to it because I end up having some other crazy ideas and go off on a tangent. So I'm going to use, I've got 3 different kinds of beads here. I'm probably going to do 3 different colored wires, but I'm going to start with some mookaite beads and some para wire, dead soft, tarnish resistant, and 18 gauge and 24 gauge. So we're going to get started with that. The tools I may or may not be using, I mean, technically you only really need a chain nose, a cutter, and maybe a round nose, but I always have more than what I might need available. So these are all my new Xuron set. I'm excited to be able to use them, and I waited 3 years to upgrade from the least expensive tools to not much more expensive than the others. So they're not high end, but they're wonderful. And then I have some nylon jaws just in case I need to straighten anything, and my measuring tape. We'll start with about, I'd say we'll go 10 inches just because it's been a while since I've made any bracelets, and these are going to be earmarked for a local shop that carries my stuff. And you can just use your hands, your fingers to straighten if you don't have nylon jaws, or you can use your nylon jaws. And they don't have to be perfectly, the wire doesn't have to be perfectly straight because we're going to be manipulating it. So I see people get really obsessed with it being pin straight, and I don't really ever kind of get that. But we're going to measure approximately 10 inches. It's probably going to be more than what we need. And the only thing I would say is with your 18 gauge, make sure that your beads will fit on there. If they won't, then you can always go to a 20 gauge. It won't be as sturdy, obviously, as an 18 gauge, but I've got plenty of bracelets that are nice because you've got your base wire, then you usually have some other wires that you're wrapping with, and so that adds, and the beads adds to the sturdiness of the piece. And yeah, bracelets take a little bit more wear and tear just because you have a tendency to bang things, that same with rings that are on your hands and your wrists, than say necklaces. But as long as people know that, you know, you're good. And it's not like we're making super expensive items. Okay, I'm gonna dig my mookaite beads out of this little dish, and I'll be back. Okay, dug those out, and I'm gonna find my round nose pliers and make a closed loop. So you can give it a 90-degree angle. And bring that over the top. Turn your pliers. Cross these over, and then just wrap the tail. I'm going to wrap the tail around here. like to be gentle on my hands. And you can make a little spiral or spiral on the end, or you can just wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And then cut the end off. And just make sure that you don't have anything that's going to be pokey, or so you can push that down. Okay, so that's a closed loop. And then we can either use that loop as where we're going to make the hook onto, or you can attach a jump ring with a lobster claw or extender chain. There's lots of things you can do to the ends of it. This is basically how you're going to start, okay? So before I feed the beads on, I'm going to go ahead and get off some length of the 24 gauge. I'd say about, I can't really show you here, but again, because I'm going to be guessing, I'd say a full arms, arms length, or about 3 feet maybe, because we're going to go one way with it and then back another way. Or I might double it up. I'm not sure yet. So I got about 3 feet. And I think I will double it up. So that just means I'll feed this over the clasp here and twist it so it stays on. Okay. And bring both wires over to one side. And I have another idea I'm going to be working on in another video, not on this one. But okay, so I'm going to slide some beads on here. That was my ice machine. And I don't want to put the same color next to each other. I get a little, I'm not particular about a lot of things, but the things I can be particular about. And I'm sure I will have some on here. Okay, I'm just going to feed that many on right now and have this wire. So I'm going to hold that one bead on and then just hold the wire and take it around and wrap it around once to the same side. And then I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to hold that bead, take the wire, and wrap it around once. And just keep pushing everything together and pulling that wire tight. And then again, hold the bead and the wire. And we can make these adjustments later, but that's how it's looking. So I'm just really wrapping it once to where it comes out on the same side. And again, we will make these adjustments. Okay, I'm going to load some more beads on. We're going to go ahead and just continue this process. Wrap around once, bring up on the same side, grab another bead, push the bead down, hold the bead, bring the wire around. Sorry about the banging. Well, you see, it's real easy. This is not a complicated design. And I'll try to show you again. So we just came around the other side. Take this double wire, bring it across the bead, like that, and up around the other side. Push the bead down. Hold it with your thumb. And bring the wire over the bead and around the base and up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this to about 6.5 length, and then we'll see. Okay? Okay, I finished all those beads. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, come on. Mookaite is amazing with copper. Looks so cute. So I think this is about 7 inches from the top of the loop, just under. So about 6 3/4. And so I'm going to stop here and make my second loop. I don't think I have enough wire to go back across, but I'm going to see, which I think is fine. It looks cute with just one, and you can stagger these or put them on one side or whatever. And if I'd cut off, say this was a thicker gauge, we would have had more than enough to go one direction and then go back on the other side of the bead. But this will be fine. This will be cute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make that loop on the end. I just want to make sure it's oriented the same way, so it's flat up this way. So I'm going to go ahead and do, and I can always adjust that, but I'm going to leave a little bit for the wrapping on the end. So I'm going to bend it and then bring it over. Turn my plier. You can see here what's happening. Then I'm going to switch out and hold it with my bent nose and then wrap this around the base there. So we'll switch to this side. Hold that, and you can either use your hand, because this is dead soft, really malleable, or you can use your pliers. And I've wrapped one time, and you wrap from kind of the top, the closest to the loop, down towards the bead. So that's about all I'm going to do, because I want to leave a little bit of space to do a wrap or two with this. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut this off and make sure it's mushed down. You can see the little end there. You can also file it sometimes if it's really troublesome, but I haven't really found that to be the case. But I will push that down a little bit more. It's hard for me to see it from this distance. There. Okay, now let me just see if we'll be able to have enough. Let's see, this is going this way. So if we did, we would just take this around up here and go on this side, such as that. Let's just see if we'll have enough wire. I'm just going across the bead and around one time. Across the bead, around one time. Across the bead, around one time. I think we're going to have enough. So I'm going to continue that. So we made it to the end, and I'm just going to take the 2 wires that are together and wrap it 2 times, and then we'll cut that off. We'll smush those ends down. And if you see anything poking out, it's because I didn't see it. Let's make sure our ends are oriented the same way. And you can see this end is, the loop is up. This end, the loop is up. And look how cute that turned out. Right? So then here's where you can decide on what kind of closure you want. Like I said, you can add a jump ring on each end and put a lobster clasp on, or you can make your own hook and eye. And the way I form these is usually I have a let me go get it. It's just my container for chewing gum has always worked really well for me. But if you don't have anything, you can either do it slowly, like just forming it this way, right? Because it's so malleable that, yeah, no sense in me going and getting it anything round, really. Or you can even form it around your own wrist. And you can see it's really ready to go. And it's adorable. I love it. But I'm going to go ahead, because I'm older. I have a problem with eyes, and as I get older, lobster clasps are really hard. Yes, I use one of those bracelet helpers, and they do help a lot. But I like the clasps that you make yourself, such as, it's just basically a shepherd's hook, right? So it's pretty simple, and I'll show you how to do that. This is another design that I think I'm gonna demonstrate. Okay, so back to the 18 gauge. We only need about 2 inches, but I'm gonna eyeball it, or I'll measure it for you guys. Straightening it with my fingers. I think that's about 2 inches. Let's go with 2.5, just to give myself, in case I flub anything up. And let's see, on one end, I'm going to take the small end and just make a loop that will go over the end of one of the loops, right? And then the other one, you can use, I should have grabbed my bail step making pliers, but you can use a pencil or something like that. And again, I get this wrong sometimes. I forget how to do it. And like I said, okay, so you can see this one, it's turned up, so such as this. I think I'm going to go ahead and make it more of a lollipop, as you which just means you straighten that out a little bit. So it's more like a lollipop. And then, so this, we're using this as a template. So that's the hook up. So this will be hooked over here. And if you have a regular round nose, you can do that. So here's that. And oh look, I did it wrong. Or did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so there's that. You know what it resembles? Resembles an ear hook. All you'd have to do is trim that off and kick that back up a little bit and you'd have an ear hook, a shepherd's type ear hook. But with this one, okay, so this will come down this way. Cut a little bit of this off. And now I'm gonna make this smaller. Just turn this end basically onto itself. Then we're going to open this end, put this on, close it, and then you have a hook. I'll probably make that a little bit smaller. And you can make it to where it hooks down, or you can turn this the other way and it'll hook up. I always do mine down, I don't know why. But, and I always try to have my hook down here. Come on. Like this. So I can brace my arm somewhere and use my hand and hook it myself. And there you have it. That's our first beginner's bracelet. Again, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, I think. And easy to get off and easy to put on. Oops, sorry. Okay. I shortened that just a tad and made this a little bit smaller on the end. The other thing you can do is you can hammer this, give it a gentle hammer, and that'll work harden this a little bit. Or you can use your pliers. And if you just kind of tap on it, not super hard. I saw this in another gal's video, how you can work harden it by just tapping down, tap, 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 tap on the metal. It does work harden it a little bit as well. But of course you don't want to mar it. So that's just another way of doing it. So there's that. How cute is that? Love it. And they're so easy. So easy to make and very effective. And people love them. And if I can put it on and take it off, anybody can. And they're very secure. They won't fall off because of the design of the hook. And you can form it a little bit any way you want it. You can do more of an oval so it doesn't spin around. I just love it. And there's so many different things you can do with this design. You could spread these out a little bit across the beads. We'll experiment with some of that stuff. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. I'm going to do a few different designs of some bracelets. Okay, thanks a lot.